So you have to say, how much has Mike Tyson lost from that 20-year-old guy in the 37 years since then, which is crazy. It'll be 30.
No nerves, no adrenaline. Even though my body wasn't as good in shape because of my ankle sprain, I just mentally, everything's slowing down in the ring. I'm not getting as nervous and stuff like that. So that was
Did you notice there's 75,000 people watching? Did that get you at all? How many people
Did I notice it? No, honestly, it's harder fighting in an arena because it's louder. In the stadium, it's not.
Start to take your foot off the gas just a little bit because you knew he was tiring out?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a bit. You know, I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt.
So you have to say, how much has Mike Tyson lost from that 20-year-old guy in the 37 years since then, which is, see, it'll be 38 by the time the world watched as Jake Paul defeated 58-year-old Mike Tyson in a fight that left more sadness than celebration. Fans tuned in from every corner of the world holding on to hope that Tyson might show a sign of the fierce fighter he once was. Instead, they saw a man battling not just his opponent but time itself, music. The fight is now a topic of heated debate, with voices coming in from all over the world criticizing Jake, and first in the list was Joe Rogan expressing his disappointment. Jake Paul, the 27-year-old YouTuber turned boxer, entered the fight with his usual braveness of a man on a mission to prove himself. Across from him stood Iron Mike Tyson, a fighter whose name still carries the weight of legends, but legends age and time doesn't grant mercy even to the fiercest warriors. Locked in there was like no nerves, no adrenaline. Even though my body wasn't as good in shape because of my ankle sprain, I just mentally, everything slowing down in the ring. I'm not getting as nervous and stuff like that. So that you notice 75,000 people watching. I get to all how many people I notice it. No, honestly, it's harder fighting in an arena cause it's louder in the stadium. It's not that loud from the first bell. Paul's advantage was painfully obvious. Paul didn't necessarily shine with technical brilliance, but he didn't have to. He seemed to have already made his money. The 31-year age gap spoke louder than anything happening inside the ropes. Tyson even seemed to not have his balance, not even his power. At any point did you start to take your foot off the gas just a little bit because you knew he was tiring out? Yeah, definitely a bit. You know, I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt. Joe Rogan, a lifelong fight fan and UFC commentator, embodied the mix of hope and disbelief felt by many leading up to the fight. Taking to social media before the bout, Rogan expressed his unusual optimism, comparing his anticipation to watching a spell being cast. I'm getting ready to watch this Tyson vs. Jake Paul fight like I'm watching someone cast a spell that I hope actually works, and I don't really believe in magic, but I want to believe, he wrote on X. Rogan, like so many others, wanted to believe in the impossible, that Tyson, even at nearly 60, could deliver something extraordinary. But the harsh truth of time and physical decline came crashing down after the fight. Rogan's hopeful words were met with his own blunt reality check. Magic isn't real. His words hit hard, summing up what many felt. Tyson's return, while admirable in spirit, served as a reminder that boxing is an unforgiving sport, one that doesn't allow for miracles past a certain point. The aftermath of the fight brought around thousands of reactions from the fighting world, ranging from disappointment to outright anger. Conor McGregor, never want to mince words, didn't hold back and deleted comment on X. He tore into the event, calling it a 16-minute spar in sparring gloves. F off. Obviously it would be the biggest moment in all of boxing history when I put this man to sleep. He dreams a lot. This is not its own truly. Young man, I respect your opinion, but it's just my time. The universe know it, the gods know it, I know it, and you're going to know it, plain and simple. Okay, for next week we'll see former cruiserweight champion Bella took things even further, making his disdain known well before the fight. At the press conference, Bella openly mocked the bout, portraying it as a circus act rather than a legitimate competition. Following the event, he doubled down on his critique, writing on X, "We are all to blame for this man." Bell's comments spoke to the collective guilt many fans and pundits felt for enabling such a spectacle in the first place. Music: this wasn't a fight born of competitive merit. It was a money-driven event exploiting Tyson's legacy and the curiosity surrounding Jake Paul's meteoric rise in the boxing world. For many it was a sad moment for the sport, a glaring example of how far the boundaries of entertainment can stretch at the expense of dignity. There's a reason boxing thrives on comebacks, the beauty of an aging legend returning to reclaim glory tugs at the heartstrings of fans, but more often than not these stories end in heartbreak rather than triumph. Look man, why look, y'all had to know, like y'all got to do the math, like you know I get it man. Mike is Mike, right? We all want Mike. Hold on man, oh we got time. Tyson, once the youngest heavyweight champion in history, now finds himself added to the list of fighters who couldn't escape the pull of the ring even when the odds were stacked against them. Fans wanted to believe, they wanted to see some sign of Tyson, who terrorized the heavyweight division in the late 880s and early 90s, but Tyson is long gone, replaced by a man whose body has endured decades of wear and tear. The very idea of putting him in the ring with a man in his physical prime felt wrong, yet the fight went on because of one undeniable factor: money. Trent Davis just posted that he would beat the bracks off you. Music. Guys, yeah, I mean, I'll be down, let's run it, like I'll be super down. I don't know if Devontae needs Jake Paul. Clear, right? Is there a height limit in boxing? But apparently, as it turns out, things have not boiled yet. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are set to face suspensions from boxing following their much anticipated fight in Dallas. The bout, which drew significant attention from fans worldwide, ended with Jake Paul securing a unanimous decision victory over the 58-year-old boxing legend. However, it wasn't the explosive showdown many had hoped for. Both fighters will be subject to suspensions issued by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, the governing body that oversaw the match. The department's rules are straightforward. Fighters are mandated to take a break for 3 days for each round they participate in. Hey, what did you think of the fight? What do you think of the fight, Jack? It was disappointing. Would you like to see it again? Would you like to see it? Would you like to see Mikey Tyson fight again in the ring? An exhibition against I always wanted to see him fight. Yeah, is this what you expected? He didn't get off fast. What could he done different? Did Jack Paul look a little bit slow to you? Given that the fight lasted for 8 rounds, Paul and Tyson will both be ordered to rest for 24 days. This suspension is routine and is meant to ensure that fighters have adequate time to recover even if they didn't sustain significant injuries during the fight. It's a mandatory cooling off period whether the fight was a brutal slugfest or a relatively tame affair like this one. Interestingly, despite the absence of any knockdowns or significant damage, the fight failed to live up to its hype. Fans who had gathered in anticipation of seeing Tyson unleash his famous power punches were left disappointed. The atmosphere in the arena began to shift halfway through the match. The crowd's initial excitement turned into frustration, and by the 4th round, loud boos filled the venue. Really be just when jabing canal should been moving Sping to death. Spectators were not shy about expressing their disapproval, with many choosing to leave their seats well before the final bell. The boos and empty seats were a clear indication that fans expected much more from these two high-profile figures. The scorecards told the story of Jake Paul's dominance. 2 judges scored the fight 80-72 while the third gave it 79-73, all in Paul's favor. This victory marked Paul's 11th win in his 12-fight career, with his only loss coming at the hands of Tommy Fury earlier in the year. Despite the win, Paul's performance was criticized for lacking the killer instinct. His corner even urged him in the later rounds to press for a stoppage, telling him, "You can stop Mike now." However, Paul opted to play it safe, perhaps out of respect for the aging Tyson or simply to avoid any unnecessary music risk. Tyson, who had been nursing a knee problem, was visibly slower and less mobile than his younger opponent. He struggled to close the distance, often finding himself on the receiving end of Paul's jabs and quick combinations. Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr., who was providing commentary, did not hold back in his assessment. "Mike doesn't have it anymore," Jones remarked. "Legs are gone." It was a harsh but honest take on the reality that Tyson, once a force of nature in the ring, is now far removed from his prime. After the fight, Jake Paul took the microphone to address the fans who remained. He showered Tyson with respect, acknowledging the impact the former heavyweight champion has had on the sport and stuff like that. "And when we got a decision, it was a bit of, I'll be honest with you, it was an excuse my language, __. We've done it, you know what I mean. We came here, we came into the backyard, we came as the bite. And hold on, I got game there. I'm not Mike Tyson, it's such an honor." Paul said, "Let's give it up for Mike, the greatest to ever do it. We wouldn't be here without him today. With him, this man is an icon." Paul expressed gratitude for the opportunity to share the ring with Tyson, describing it as a tough fight. "Despite his clear dominance, I was trying to hurt him a little bit. I was scared he was going to hurt me. I did my best," he added. But Paul's tone changed significantly during the post-fight press conference. He claimed to have fought with a severe injury, revealing that he had sprained his ankle just 2 days before the match. "Now I watched a couple round. I don't want to crit. I think one thing I'll say is I think Nick Issa and completely tore the ligament. Interior ligament and SN, the other side of my foot." Paul claimed he mentioned being on crutches just days